Charlie, thank you. A dramatic crosstown police pursuit reminiscent of the Wild West playing out on the streets of Buffalo is raising questions. The officers involved have been cleared of any criminal wrongdoing, but an internal police investigation still in the works.
News 4 Investigates talks to a law enforcement consultant who is critical of some of the tactics used by police. Luke Moretti reports.
Miraculously, no one was killed during this intense police pursuit back in March. Bullets flying on the streets of Buffalo.
Radio, they're still shooting. Radio, they're still shooting.
Frantic radio chatter that officers have been hit.
Over 441 radio, we're heading to CMC. My partner's hit.
And then, like an action-packed Hollywood finish, a flurry of gunfire as the suspect vehicle crashes. But this was no Hollywood movie.
Thought it was worse than the OK Corral.
Jerry Rodriguez is a retired LAPD captain and former deputy police commissioner in Baltimore.
You had everyone firing from all directions.
Rodriguez, a 35-year veteran of law enforcement, now works as a consultant. He recently reviewed the police body camera footage and other publicly available material related to this case.
This is not the way we train. This is not the way we want to use force.
Rodriguez, who has a great deal of experience investigating officer-involved shootings, says this one raises many questions.
I saw a lack of control, a lack of command, a lack of fire control, and that was evident in a video.
Some of his key concerns: the number of rounds fired, firing from and at a moving vehicle, and the background when rounds were fired, places where people walk, drive, and live.
If I was the commissioner and I had to face my constituents, my elected officials, my community, I would be very unhappy with the performance of my officers.
This all started when officers approached a vehicle at Broderick Park because of tinted windows and a plate that was not valid.
Yeah, your reg is suspended right now.
After a few minutes, the driver, 28-year-old Kente Bell, who authorities say had a prior felony gun conviction, takes off.
Knew that coming.
Police follow. The chaotic and dangerous pursuit winds its way through parts of the city. Bell is accused of firing at officers while driving. Officers fire back, at times from their moving vehicle. Other times from the street as Bell's vehicle passes by. Erie County District Attorney John Flynn cleared all of the officers involved of any criminal wrongdoing in firing their weapons. But he did offer this while addressing the situation.
There is no penal law violation for that articulates common sense. And so I cannot charge any Buffalo police officer with a violation of common sense.
Flynn says approximately 16 Buffalo police officers fired their weapon, and that the majority of those shots came at the end when the suspect vehicle crashed. The DA says 2 officers were hit by friendly fire, and that a 3rd officer was hit by the suspect's gunfire.
There were, at a minimum, approximately 14 shots fired by Mr. Bell in this entire incident.
Bell, who was already partially paralyzed from a previous shooting, was also hit by gunfire and survived.
I'm not surprised that the suspect was not killed, because experience has shown to me that rounds going through cars, windshields, back seats, metal doors do weird things.
The actions of officers that day are undergoing an internal review by the Buffalo Police Department.
We have to learn from what we do, good, bad, or indifferent.
Police Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia says initially officers should not have engaged in a pursuit when Bell fled in his vehicle. But he says when Bell allegedly fired at them, that changed the game. He also says the department's use of force policy prohibits shooting at or from a motor vehicle unless deadly physical force is being used against an officer by means other than the vehicle.
So we have to look and see what those officers that were discharging their weapons, what did they face at that time?
And as recently as Tuesday, Gramaglia addressed the internal review process with reporters.
We will own our part, we will do our part, we will train our officers better, and we will work through the mistakes that we made.
Kente Bell, the suspect in this case, has been charged with multiple counts of attempted murder in the first degree and other charges. If convicted of the highest charges, he could face a maximum of 40 years to life in prison. Luke Moretti, News 4.